Hey, how's it going? This is the video for Overland Solo Overland Part 2. The first one was a one-night Overland. This one is going to be a two-night Overland. We're going to be doing some circuit hiking, kind of like, interval hiking, just doing different hikes here and there, see what we can get into. I plan on doing a grand tour of this canyon. Alright, so I'm in the canyon. It is Saturday, March 19th. I plan on camping tonight and tomorrow night. I plan on doing just a bunch of random hikes. There's really a lot of cool spots in this canyon, and I want to film some of them. Particularly, I want to go to this place where there's a mural, like a wilderness mural, and another spot where there's two towers, kind of like Lord of the Rings style, two towers. That's another good hike, and they're all kind of scattered. So I've got a late start. Right now it's on 3:30. Thankfully it's right past daylight savings time. Hopefully the last daylight savings time, according to that law they passed supposedly. So sun comes down late. Temperature right now is 61 in the canyon, 61, which is a good number for late March. Definitely feels like early spring. I've heard a bunch of birds already, and I haven't heard birds in, like 4 months, I would say. So good to see the birds back. Okay, this is the lowest part of the canyon here. This will be the warmest part of the canyon also. Saw two hikers back there. I saw a truck with a dirt bike mount, or maybe a mountain bike mount. I'm gonna keep an eye out, because dirt bikes tend to go fast out here, and I don't want him running into me. There's a lot of blind corners. Okay, that's a possible camp spot for us. Not a great one. This section last year got reduced by the BLM people, so they put up like a roadblock sign up there, and they basically do that to reclaim the wilderness, which kind of sucks when you want to camp out a little further and they close this section. But it also protects the wilderness too, so a section will get wilder since there's no humans around. All those trees are cottonwoods, all those big trees. Cottonwood, sage. There's also oak here too. oak does grow here. I think it's called gambler oak, green oak. And this area of the valley also has the most flash flooding. Which is not hard to spot where. As you see, this whole section is wiped out. Eroded up there, completely eroded. Okay, landed here. This is going to be our first camp of the night. That's a big cottonwood. It's an old rancher cattle thingy. This area doesn't have a hearth, but it does have wood. So the ground here is soft. So I'm gonna dig out a hearth. And I was thinking, what can I do to challenge myself here in this canyon? And my thinking is to do like an ultra hiking almost type deal, where I just see how much I can hike in 2 nights of camping. So we're gonna camp tonight. We're gonna come camp first hike. All right, I've decided to let Newf come along because she's excited to be here. So look at that. It's like 12 feet flash flood evidence. Newf! Stay there, sweetheart. This section has a cliff house. That's a cliff house right there. And I think there's another one back there. So we're gonna go check that out. Okay, so we're inside the cliff house here. Very evident that there's clay construction going on here on both sides. And this is the sleeping area, I'm assuming. Overlooking the whole valley right here. Or the canyon, I should say. Gypsy, come here, bud. This is the other side. Pretty cool, almost like a room. This section is built. That whole wall is built. And there's another wall right here. Another structure here. Construction right here. And a piece of pottery right over there. Check this out. Walked up the creek. And looks like we got some water. Good sign of the spring melt coming down into the valley. Newf is gonna love it. Newf has been following me the whole time. I think we're on mile 2 or 3. Gyps, what do you think? Gypsy in the zone. Gypsy, big girl. Gyps, come here. Gee. So I'm gonna hike along this creek now. And Newf will hang out in the water. Okay, I'm hiking up here. I noticed a petroglyph on that side. But this section is kind of sketchy to get up, but I think that's as sketchy as I want to go. So I'm going to try it, go up there, get a good look. Gypsy, what do you got? Came up that little pass right there. Hiking pole worked good. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of heights, but sometimes it's worth it to go up because this is a wilderness petroglyph right here. So with petroglyph, you don't want to touch them because the oils in your hands will help erode the art. The Park Service will, not the Park Service, BLM will come in and photograph these and catalog them. So if people add illegal stuff to it, you can notice it from the old photos. So as I'm up here, I'm having at least 3 points of contact. Feet, hiking pole, and then hand on a rock when I'm not holding my phone. Gonna be real careful, real methodical. My truck is down there. Newfie's down there. She's drinking up. Chips can't get up here, it's too steep. But this was worth it. That's a really pretty petroglyph. Not hard, or actually hard to get up to, I should say. So I'm gonna come down, I'm gonna keep hiking. But this is what I'm looking for here. So when I find something like this, there's a high likelihood there's more, because it's almost like the Native American, the artist who did that, lived in this canyon. So it's almost like a, you know, like a landmarker where they would mark their way around with some art. So strong chance that the artist that did that did some more art in this canyon here. And good vantage point from here too. That canyon over there has a draw, which is a good hike to do, versus going up and over and up and over. Just going in that draw. Might do that tonight even, if the moon comes up. But right now, I'm just enjoying this. Huge pieces of pottery everywhere here. There's a section up there that is inaccessible and it has petroglyph on it. Looks like a horse maybe. So if it's a horse, it's post 1500 because the Spaniards brought horse here. So this area probably eroded over 1,000 years and I can't get to it. It's too sketchy. But there's signs here, pottery, and that's a horse. It's post 1500. Okay, hiking off this plateau here. This doesn't look like much, but this is actually the earliest structures out here. And these things are called pit houses. So what they would do is they would dig out a big hole and then kind of surround it with rocks. As you can see, this whole wall is braced. It's been dug out here. Check this out. What kind of flower is that? Can you guess? Gypsy, come here, bud. I would say around 5 years old. It's got some brittleness going on. 3-point buck. Black-tailed deer. Coming back to camp here. Yoo! You've just been chilling. I'm wondering how many miles we did. Take my GPS out here. Hold on. All these cottonwoods, and a lot of them are stunted because there's an invasive species in this canyon, and that's salt cedar. You can see it growing everywhere. Kind of takes over. That was a 3-mile hike. A lot of traversing up the canyon. You can see a lot of going back and forth. Went all the way up there, back there, loop back in here. So it looks cloudy, so I'm not sure how good that moon's gonna be. But I do have lights. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna set up a camp. I'm gonna dig out a hearth or a fire pit. Maybe I'll move over there because there might be a fire pit there, so I'm gonna take a little walk over there. But generally the game plan is not to set up camp and plan for the next hike. Okay, this is my fire pit. It's approximately 2 feet in. That's the legal size. There's no rocks around here, so I want to be real fire safe here because there is a lot of leaves here and dead wood everywhere. So a lot of effort to dig this out, but it's good to be safe and legal versus if I just put a bunch of like little small rocks around here, it would be almost useless in terms of fire protection. So I want to be nice and fire safe and legal, so that's what I had to do. Dug it out with a shovel and a hammer, and I'm exactly 2 feet in. So now I could have a nice fire. A lot of wood around here, so I'm gonna do my part and just burn as much wood as I can here because there's a lot of dead wood, a lot of standing dead here. In a forest fire in this section, especially in this little canyon draw, it would ruin all these nice cottonwoods here, and a lot of junipers, a lot of pinon. So I'm gonna clean up my little section here. You guys ready for fire? You, Gypsy. All right, we're getting some dinner going here. Got some ground beef here. Dogs have a couple of ribs, and I'm gonna have some ground beef stir fry. Just going real simple. Stir fry, vegetables, and gonna have a piece of bread. So stir fry, some veggies, and a piece of bread. This will be my dinner. Okay, this is my dinner. Got some stir fry action, stir fry veggies, beef, honey mustard, some sourdough bread, some butter, kind of like a fusion. Some rice would go well with this stir fry, I think, but I don't feel like cooking rice out here. So I got some bread, some stir fry. Fire's working out good. It's getting a little cold. Probably in the 40s right now. So fire's working out good. Okay, had dinner. Reset my GPS. I'm hoping for the moon, but I don't see it. Might be cloud locked, or it might just show up a little late. But what I'm gonna do now is we're gonna go on a little road hike at night. Obviously you can't go off trail at night, so we're just gonna do a little half hour out, half hour back on the road. It's still early. I don't normally go to sleep this early. It's around 9 o'clock. So we're gonna continue with that ultra challenge of just seeing how many miles I can get in 48 hours. Chips. Hey, my little night wolf. Night wolf in the house. Mortal Kombat 2, I think. Night wolf. Anyway, we're gonna hike this road. Nice and quiet. Stars are starting to show up, so that moon may show up like a spotlight out here. But this area, I tell you, like all these cottonwoods are mostly standing dead because that salt cedar is everywhere here. So yeah, I might harvest some of that salt cedar for fire tomorrow just to help the cottonwoods out here. Because you can cut salt cedar green because it's invasive. Yeah, these cottonwoods are way too pretty, man. And the salt cedar, it's very similar to Adler oak, salt cedar, or like green oak. It kind of takes over the forest. Same thing with the desert. The salt cedar kind of takes everything over. So check this out. This is that road. And I was talking about washouts earlier. And you can tell this road is real hard on this side. But as soon as you grab the shoulder, which doesn't look too bad, but it's very misleading because look at that. Look at that. So it's almost like they call it a snow bridge on top of the mountains. Like when there's the snow makes like a little bridge. Well, this is almost like a dirt bridge. So this section is getting washed out into there, and it's eroding this road all the way to the shoulder. So you think, okay, I'm gonna hug right here, it'll be fine. I'll stay away from these ditches. But you can get caught up in something like this. It'll pull you in like a witch into the ditch. And it's probably 3-4 feet. Yeah, this thing will go by the end of the season. We'll have to regrade this. Especially when it's wet or after a rainstorm. These sections are super prone. And if it pulls you in, it's not going to be pretty. We have to either dig out a lot of dirt or get help, one or the other. That sky up there, it's getting lighter and lighter. So that means that moon is coming up. So got about 5 minutes left before I turn around. So I'm just gonna keep hiking. Okie dokie, back at camp. It's almost 10 o'clock. So did another 1.5. So 4.5 for today, 4.5. Still a little before 10. That moon, turn my light off here. That moon is coming around that canyon. You can see that silver light dancing above there, but still not here. So if it's late tonight, it'll be even later tomorrow night, the moonrise. So it looks like the silver light hiking won't be happening, but still good to get 4.5 miles today, even though I got here late. So now we're gonna get our bed ready, or it is ready, I should say. So the way I go with my setup is I just have a bunch of pillows underneath, blankets on top. Here I'm gonna put another sleeping bag for Newf, and then Gyps is gonna cuddle with me, and Newf is gonna cuddle on my side. Newf, what are you doing over there? I got you a sleeping bag over there. Big girl, you did a good job today, sweetheart. Yeah, I know your hips hurt. I know. But you did a good job. You got some exercise in. That's a smart girl. It's my big girl. Yeah, she's great. This is definitely her canyon. She's ran her ass off in this canyon. when we first moved here. Huh. What do you smell? What do you smell? What is it? Is it a coyote? Huh? Is it a coyote? Yeah, she's an English lab. So they're like stockier. Shorter paws. A little bit shorter in general. Good morning. It's a little past 8. Pretty decent night's sleep, even though I tossed and turned all night. My sleeping setup is not that great still. It'll be better by tonight, I think. But Newfie was good. Gypsy was good. So it's cloudy right now. Wasn't expecting clouds. Maybe we'll get some rain today. But it definitely won't be snow because it's not that cold. So we'll take it. So we're gonna make a fire, make some breakfast. Yeah, we're gonna make a little fire. This is cottonwood bark. Yo, every van life video consists of making coffee. And they don't tell you what kind of coffee they make, which is kind of pointless. So, also, I forgot my tea kettle, so I'm just using my small Bailey pot here. And the coffee I have is Wally World medium roast. A lot of the Wally World stuff has artificial flavoring, but they mark it, and this one doesn't. So I don't like artificial flavor. So this is just regular coffee. And now I'm gonna just put some eggs in here and make some hard-boiled eggs also. Okay, got some hard-boiled eggs, piece of bacon, got sourdough bread, some butter, piece of tomato, and onion as a little garnish. And got my brew, and breakfast is served. Okay, I've reset my GPS. It's 9:30. Took a while to make breakfast with the fire. I think tomorrow I'm gonna go with propane for breakfast. I'm going real light. I'm gonna like circuit hike. I'm gonna go out to this mural section. It's about 5 miles out, maybe less. And then I'm gonna come right back, and then I'm gonna hike again. So, got my hiking pole. This thing is working out good. This is a REI Lookout pack. I haven't bought REI in a long time. I think I stopped buying REI after I found out how much their CEO makes. And the REI CEO was the head of, I think, Prada before REI. So, you know, I don't want to subscribe to that culture anymore. I mean, you can't really call yourself a co-op if your CEO is making like $5 million a year and your employees are making like $12 an hour with no benefits. So I've stopped supporting REI over 5 years ago. So it's definitely getting faded. But it was a gateway to the outdoors, like the gear and the equipment. It's definitely a doorway to get you into the mountains. But right now, I would say even Wally World has equivalent enough gear for to get the job done. So anyway, we're gonna go hiking now. Newf is gonna stay leashed here at camp. I got her tethered into that piece of my cargo carrier. She pushed it a little hard yesterday, so her hip was bothering her last night. So she wants to go, but she can't. I'm gonna let her just recover today. And she'll sit in a yoga pose all day with my little Sphinx here. So, yeah, she's going to take it easy. I'm going to leave camp like this. And the sun is not out. It's definitely hidden between those clouds, behind those clouds. So hopefully it'll come out. But at the same time, it's perfect weather. I would say it's in the low 50s right now. It's perfect hiking weather. And yeah, we're gonna go that way. This is the most common petroglyph. This is called the Sun Dagger. So they drew 3 here, and they would monitor the sun's cycle, the moon's cycle, with shadows that were cast on this rock. So supposedly during solstice, there's a specific type of shadow that's cast onto this canyon, or this Sun Dagger, I should say. All that is invasive. It's salt cedar. Invasive salt cedar. It's called tamarisk. Okay, off trail here. And in my head, I'm like, I've never been in this side canyon, but I actually have, because I distinctly remember this petroglyph here. Look at that, it almost looks like a rainbow. And some kind of figure underneath it, maybe holding its hands together. So as I mentioned yesterday, when you find like an elaborate petroglyph, there's a good chance that pocket of ancestral Native Americans had an artist in it. So that artist will, you know, paint up all these canyons. And these things are high up too. Look at that. That's approximately 900 years old, in that range. Good chance it's authentic because it's in the wilderness, it's off trail. If you're on major trailheads, major parks, then who knows what's authentic unless you have a dated photograph. But this is authentic, I think. He would just, or she would just sit up there and just paint, scratch into that sandstone. Okay, so I've been watching a lot of geology videos on YouTube, and it's really complicated for one, like the way they date things. But there are some kind of like telltales of markers that you could look for. So this area I know is Morrison Foundation, or Morrison Formation, and Dakota Sandstone. And the Morrison Foundation has this layer in it, like this is obviously rock, but this layer here, you can see it's very green, and that means there was a period of green fauna, and almost like a, just got a raindrop on me, almost like a, you know, a green maximum versus a thermal maximum, where it's red, it's hot, it's arid, and there's nothing going on. But these veins here, like this green vein here, you know, I've seen the videos where people talk, where these geologists talk about, they find like crocodile fossils and things like this, and primarily they find dinosaur fossils in something like this. So there's instances where
there'll be like a big femur bone of a dinosaur just kind of fossilized in these sections here. Like something like that. You can see this is all green, and then something right in it is fossilized, this little piece here. So I'm not gonna touch any of this because I'm not a geologist, or, you know, I'm not gonna mess with any of this stuff. Pretty sure you need some kind of permit too to excavate anything. But this is what I'm looking for, and the more of those videos I watch, the more these areas start making more sense to me. But yeah, so this is Morrison Foundation and Dakota Sandstone. And I'm at approximately 5,000 feet on the Colorado Plateau. Look at the erosion going on here. This is all water erosion, flash flood erosion. So I'm gonna go down this thing. Come on, Jip. This is all native. This is all some big sagebrush here. I never have good luck with finding anything in wash beds because I think the mud kind of hides everything. So if there's a bone or a fossil, good chance it's been in the mud and hidden. Okay, I decided to come up and explore this plateau here. And evidence of life here. This is burned, fossilized wood. That's either bear or coyote. A lot of bones here. So something's been bedding down in here and chowing down. And this is all charcoal. I heard this one instruction of, if you want to really know what this is, you can just taste it. But this is obviously charcoal. This would be good if you had a stomach ache or something like that, stomach bug. That'll kind of clear you out. A bunch of bones over there, another bone. Again, more green veins here. This is all red, hardcore, hard. And here, this is all green. So if I saw something like a dinosaur head fossilized in here, that would be a very cool find. And that's how they're found too. There's literally sections like of patches where there's just like graveyards of bones. This is a very old bone, protected by this shelter here. And I guess this is deer. Check this out. This is maize right here. This is an agricultural staple. And they grew this here, they harvested it. They had patches where there'd be a clearing, and that's where they would grow these things. Corn maize, basically. Spotted a boneyard here. It looks like baby calf, I think. Yeah, this area is catching me totally by surprise. I never knew there's water as far up in this canyon as there is. Look at this. Look at that. Chips, you want to go for a swim? Yeah, if this was summertime, I would definitely go in here. Steady drop too. Wow, look at that. That's deep, man. It's that deep? It's around 50 degrees right now. In the summertime, I would be taking a little dip in here. I'm gonna wash my face in here, I think, just now. And get back on. I'm at the top, or the bottom, I should say, of that formation. And this is definitely an ancient water source because there's cottonwoods here. Not many of them, but that's a cottonwood right there, really high up in the canyon. That's a rare find. These cottonwoods produce buds, and you can make a bunch of stuff with it, like a balm. I'm not sure what else you can make with it, but I know it's very useful when it's in harvest, and that should be coming up soon. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw some fresh cottonwood buds on the bottom of the canyon. But this is pretty cool. It's an interesting kind of mindset where the canyon, it just seems so similar in many ways. Like, it becomes very monotonous. You're going up draws, you're going up little valleys, you're going up little trenches, and then you get to a water section, and it's very memorable. Like that basin right there, that is a cool find. If it was summertime, that would be, you know, a savior in a survival situation. Or even just going swimming in it would be awesome. Just washing my face in it, I feel very refreshed. So the water becomes very memorable when you find it in a dry, arid area. Amazing, really far in the canyon, off trail, still finding artifacts. So someone had a meal right here. See the broken fork. No surprise. Human critter taking a break by the water. Gypsy, come on. What's up there, Jip? Okay, this is obviously the flood plain here. Super gnarly flash floods. Look at all that wood, all that strength. So if there was a torrential downpour or a period of rain during the melt or the first big storm of the season, this is where I would not want to be, because the flash flood would be waist high at least, and the debris could pin you against a tree or against some of this brush here. This is old creek bed here. Dry though. Dry season here in the Southwest. Wind is picking up too. I'm slowly walking back towards the truck. That's where Newf is. Just want to check out that mural section here. If I remember correctly, I think I know where it is, but who knows? I can get to it. Alrighty, I've scratched my way up this embankment here, and I found that mural I wanted to show my viewers. I think I mentioned it in the second video, no, the third video. Anyway, the mural is here, and again, nowhere near trail, nowhere near road. Up on this sketchy embankment here, there's a beautiful mural. And there it is. It looks like the person is connected to the river. Kind of springs out of the river, the person. This section, this is the best mural I found. So look at all this detail here. Very beautiful. That's obviously a snake. And there's more up there. So a good way, if you find one of these, to catalog it, like this one I have on my Instagram, but I've never really cataloged it in terms of just taking very high def pics. And then when you take the pics, you can play with the light, the brightness, and the contrast, and the saturation. So you may see something with your photo tools that you don't see with the naked eye. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm gonna just shoot this little mural, or big mural I should say, in high def on my camera. So I have it. So if I come back in a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, and someone has vandalized it, I'll be able to tell because I'll have originals. Okay, back at camp here. Newf has been chilling. Oh, sweetheart. I drank most of the water. Big girl. Any guests, sweetheart? Any guests? Okay, back at camp. 12:45. Let's see how much we did. 4.7. So I'm gonna make a dessert. I'm gonna water up Gypsy, and for dessert I'm gonna have a root beer float. Okay, this is my dessert. Root beer, French vanilla, Nalgene bottle, and root beer float. Good, high energy, high calorie, and starting hike number 2 now. Got fresh gear on, fresh clothes, fresh shirt. So we did that section. I'm still watching the monsoon clouds. They don't look too dark, so I'm not that concerned, and it's cold. So small chance of lightning if it's cold. If it was like 65, 70, 80, there would be lightning here for sure. But anyway, we're hiking through this sagebrush here, and I want to see what's past that ridge over there. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna just hike that up. The mountain grown coffee. That's all I could decipher. This is an old camp. Bunch of rust here. Old cans. Off trail here. Do a little mini summit. The truck is in those cans over there. Doing this section here. I've never been on this section. I have been on that side, I think. And if I'm thinking correctly, there's 2 towers over there. That's what I'm looking for. And I want to go see them, but first I want to hike this off trail section, see what's out here. A little treacherous to get up here, definitely steep. But it kind of plateaus up here, so I'm just gonna hike around and see what I can find. Yeah, so I was wrong. That mesa is like a false mesa. It turns into bluffs here. So I think what I'm looking for is on that side or the next side, or maybe even after that one. So I'm just gonna keep walking here. As you see, this is pretty treacherous here, these washouts. So what I'm doing is I'm kind of skirting the canyon versus going in and going up, going in and going up, because that sucks. There's some game trail down there too. But I'm liking the skirt side of the canyon because I don't have to descend. So I'm just gonna keep doing that until I have to go down. We've made it. Came down those ridges into this road, and this is the payoff here. This is the 2 towers. I call it the 2 towers. It's been fenced in on one side, but there's a side that's open and you can go inside. I'm not sure why they would put up, you know, it's the government, they put up barbed wire like it's a border wall or something. But that's your tax dollars at work right here. This is the only 2 towers in this area that's kind of fenced in like this, but it's not locked or anything. You can definitely go inside. So the fence was built in 1964. And it says you can go in. Just can't excavate anything by law. So you can go in, take pictures, look around. So 1964 is this fence. Very old. Some kind of pioneer camp. Middle of nowhere. Maybe a hunting camp, scouting camp. Okay, back on that road. And that section draws into this section. And I've been here before. This is Pioneer Homestead. And the way I identify that is the pioneers, the settlers, they had hearths. So they would build a hearth as part of their house. The Native Americans, they would have a kiva outside their hearth, like a circular fire structure. This is a hearth. And there's also some metal in there, it looks like. Yeah, so this is probably late 1800s, I would say. The first Antiquities Act was passed in the late 1900s. So these areas with ruins became protected, mostly protected, I should say, because there's still drilling going on here and that kind of stuff. So this is late 1800s, early 1900s, pioneer settler structure. Okay, back at the truck. It's 4:27. That was 5.2 miles, 5.2. So I'm gonna make dinner now. And then maybe do another hike at night. We'll see. Dinner is served. Mash turned out really good. Added some butter. The ground beef and the veggies I was going to keep separate because these are not stir-fry veggies. But I decided to mix them up just for flavor. So, yeah, it tastes really good. Pretty psyched about eating this dinner. All right, had dinner. Gonna reset my GPS. Gonna do a little hike. Maybe an hour or two. Want to see what's over that ridge over there. Haven't seen that ridge yet. And it's still early, it's 6:30. So I don't have any service, so not much to do. So we're gonna go hiking. Look at those clouds. They're coming in from the west. So I could be in for a storm. The east looks much better. It was cloudy all day, but it looks like there's some dark clouds coming in. So if it gets too stormy, or if it just starts raining heavily, I'll have to kind of break camp quickly and leave. Hopefully it holds out, but you never know. The storms here come usually at night. They kind of usually fester during the day, and then at night the gates of hell open up because it gets colder and yeah, more windy. So gotta watch out for that. So when I get back to camp, I'll probably have to tidy it up a little bit just in case I have to book in the middle of the night. But either way, I'm getting a lot of miles in the last couple days, which is a good time. It's a cairn marking something. I'm guessing it's marking that water source up there. Clouds are coming in. Almost the whole sky is getting a little dark now. The sun is definitely set. But I don't hear any thunder and no droplets of water or anything. What's that, Jip? So we're gonna go back down now and get that road and then hike back to the truck. Back on the road. She did a good job today, Jeb. Who's a big girl? That's my little Jill. Go, Jeesh. All right, it's getting a little interesting here now. Looks like I got a cloud chasing me on this ridge here. And this is the darkest cloud I've seen all day. So I wouldn't be surprised if I see some rain tonight. And if I see lightning, I'm gonna have to be staying in the truck all night. If the rain starts coming down hard, I'm gonna have to leave. Like if the rain becomes steady, a good half hour of rain and this road will wash out. And this road I could kind of chain my way through if I put chains on my 4Runner, but the pass going up will be impassable. So if it starts raining, I'm gonna have to go home. But this is part of the fun. You can see this canyon with some clouds. Rarely see this canyon without clouds. So my attention level is definitely peaking out because the storm is kind of coming in from all sides, and that concerns me the most. I think, like once that cloud merges with that over there, we might get some storm action. And if the wind is picking up too, so it might be an eventful night. We'll see. Back at camp. .1 miles. Yeah, now I'm gonna hunker down. I'm gonna hide all my electronic stuff, like batteries up there, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna tidy up my food, just in case it starts raining and I have to book out of here in the middle of the night. That's what we'll do. Because if it's raining at night, it'll most likely be thundering too. And you can't really break down camp when it's thunder and lightning, so that's the game plan. Dude, sure as shit, it's starting to rain. So now I have to hustle up and pack up camp a little bit. I just started my fire back up. Yeah, hopefully this won't last, but I'll have to pack up and may even move to get out of the floodplain, because as you saw all day, this is definitely the floodplain, and if a torrential downpour starts, I'll be in a flash flood zone. So I gotta get to work, I gotta put my headlamp on, and I gotta just tidy up my camp. Thankfully most of it is on my roof, but yeah, this will create a big mess if it keeps going. Yeah, the rain is becoming steady. That canyon side over there is completely black. There could be more storms coming in. So it looks like what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to pack up my whole 4Runner and kind of hang out in the front seat, see whether I could stand this rain, because my main concern is flash flooding. It's March 20th, so the spring melt could be coming down, and a bunch of rain could really set it off. All right, I've packed up my entire camp. The rain has just stopped, but there's black clouds all over there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in my truck and I'm gonna get on the higher side of the canyon and I'll camp there. Yeah, this video was or is Overland Part 2, so 2 nights. So I want to get 2 nights of Overland. My fear is that if another downpour comes through here, a good half hour of it, and I'll be completely stuck in this canyon. It'll mud out the whole road, and then I'll be stuck for at least another day or two. And that has happened to me before here, a couple years back. So I'm gonna go up canyon, I'm gonna camp there, and tomorrow I'm gonna try to hike. If not, no big deal. The main part of this video for me was to get 2 nights of Overland, and this is how Overland goes sometimes. You have to be careful. You don't want to get stuck out here. If this area turns into mud, it'll be really dangerous because the driving will be super sketchy, and I don't want to wreck my 4Runner. Ready? I am almost out of the base canyon here, coming up towards the pass, and I'm glad I left camp because the sky has turned completely black. So obviously there's storm clouds up in the air. So I'm gonna go up the pass, and right before I summit the pass, or I crest the pass, there's a little section where I could camp. So I'm gonna do that. I don't want to camp down here because if a torrential downpour catches me off guard, like a monsoon, then I'll be back at square one and the road will get washed out. So I'm gonna go up the pass. You've. Alrighty, we're up here on the plateau of the pass. The pass is another maybe like 40-50 yards going up, and that's it. And it's pitch black. That storm is still around. I'm glad I'm up here. I already feel safe when I'm up here. I wanted to do more hiking tomorrow, but looks like that won't happen because my rig is all loaded up. I don't feel like breaking down camp down here, and yeah, there's not that much to hike down here, or up here I should say. So that was a good side challenge, that ultra hiking, just to see how much I can do in a certain amount of time. But it got cut short. So, but I'm still gonna do the Overland camp for the part 2 solo Overland video. And my game plan is to just do more nights as we go. So my first video for Overland was 1 night. This one's going to be 2 nights, and next one will be 3 nights. But this is how it goes, you know. Better to play it safe. It's super dark. That storm could still break loose at night. And if it did, I would get stuck down there. It would take at least a day for it to dry out. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with the mud, because the mud would shut down my show completely. And not only that, it would make it a shit show, because I wouldn't be able to hike because everything would be muddy and it would be a big mess. So, smart move, experienced move is to come up to the pass and then see what the storm does, because if it catches you while you're in the canyon, it's going to be too late, and then you'll have to kind of wait it out. But this is a cool canyon here. Look how steep this is here. It's probably a 500-foot drop right there. Chips. Yuki. Hi, sweetheart. My big girl. 1:10 in the morning. Got awoken by rain. It's been raining solid now for a good hour, I would say, hour. The road is borderline washed out. I just made it off the pass. Thankfully, I got up and started, I was like, yeah, I gotta get off. Even the last half mile on the pass, I have to get off, because if it rains all night, the road will be just sheer mud. And this is the road on top of the pass, and it's raining. This is red clay, dirt, and this road is also prone to washing out, even though there's no cliffs here. If it rains for a good couple hours, this road will be also mud. So I've decided to come. I went up the pass on the last quarter mile, and now I'm in the last maybe half mile of this top road here. And if you could hear, the dirt is already claying or caking on my 4Runner. Not sure if you could hear that, but it's already caking, the dirt. So another half hour, 45 minutes, and this road will be pure mush, and I would not be able to get off this road. Even this flat road, I would get stuck on it. Yeah, you can hear the dirt just plopping against my 4Runner now. Yeah, literally a good hour of this, and I would get stranded out here. Even if I chained up, it still wouldn't do shit, because it would throw me around to the point where I would get caught up in those ditches right there. And the winter is like that here also. During the day, when the sun is out and the snow is here, it just becomes a futile mess of mud. So this is the last section right here. This is the road, paved road. Man, that sucked. But I made the right call to pack up camp and leave. There was no rain forecast. Only there was a wind advisory. Just got service when I was at that last camp. Yeah. Now I'm on the road. Look at that. Listen to that dirt. That's literally an hour, and already the tires were just mud. So smart move. I got up, I got out. I'm on the paved road now. The rain can't get me here, or can't trap me here with mud. So I'm gonna pull off here and go back to sleep. So yeah, definitely made the right call though. I was on the fence when I was sitting in that canyon, like, it's just gonna pass by the storm, you know. I could just wait it out and see what happens. And then as soon as that rain starts popping on the tin roof of the 4Runner, I'm like, doesn't sound good. I could count the number of times in my hand how many times it's rained here that I've been here, and every time it's been just a mess with that road. So, oh man. So instead of doing nothing and just sitting there hoping for the best, I packed up my little ultra camp there that I had on top and made it to the paved road. Temperature is 34, so I don't think that would have been enough to freeze over in the canyon that quickly. Saw some snow this morning too, but it just wasn't enough. The temperature drop, it would have to be like, oh, there's some deer running around here. It would have to be like 20s to really freeze over the canyon that quickly, that fast. You gotta watch out for deer too, because they move around in the morning and at dusk. We saw a nice buck. But anyway, heading back. That was a fun 2 nights. We got the 2 nights in despite the storm. So thank you for watching. Thank you for following along on this Overland 2-night trip. The next Overland trip would be 3 nights. And most likely it'll be in the canyon still, because it's still too cold to go in the high country. So thanks for watching. Like, share, subscribe.